everyone. This is the Dirty Dojo. I'm Sifu Z, and this is the bodybuilding session. Comes in three parts. Upper body, that's one day. Day two is lower body. Day three is full body. There's a rest day in between each session. So train a day, rest a day, train a day, rest a day, and then you got the weekend or however you want to lay it out. Sometimes instead of 3 days a week, some prefer to work 4 days a week. That may or may not increase your yield. It may or may not be best. We know for sure 3 days a week is very effective. So this is a drinking show. Make sure you drink plenty of water and have water available for you. Now, this is a bodybuilding session, and its purpose is for sculpting your body. So, if there's a certain part of your body that you want to develop, then this is the sort of training that you would want to do. This is typically known as bodybuilding training, and it uses resistance exercises, or progressive resistance. We're using dumbbells and we're using TRX bands. I've got those over here. That's all we're using. I have a chair here that will also be utilizing. So you don't need a lot of gear. In fact, it could be argued that you need no gear. What I mean by that is you could just use your sandbag that we use in our regular classes, and you could just use this as weight. Of course, you can use a bunch of these and get different weights from the sandbags. You can also use kinetic, isokinetic, and isodynamic tension for a lot of these exercises. However, I'm going to be utilizing dumbbells. So dumbbells are these things right here, just in case you're wondering. The dumbbells and barbells are the ones with the big bar. This is the dumbbells or the little bars. And that's it. Some water, some weights, or doing the isodynamic, isokinetic equivalent of what we're attempting to do. And having bands or even rope or a belt will work just fine. So I'm going to get started right away. We're only coming up on 4 minutes into this stream. I'm doing this as a public stream to share what it is that we're doing here, and two, to open up available for any questions or even comments or things that people would like to share that they think might work and be effective or even more effective than what we're doing. Monster Chicks, aloha, welcome. This is the Dirty Dojo, and we're just about to start to work out doing the upper body bodybuilding portion of this live stream. So if that's what you're interested in, welcome and aloha. So this is the upper body, day one upper body. Now I've delivered these in reverse. I did day three first, day two second, and now day one last. And these will be available for a limited time to the public. And then this is all just made available over on patreon.com/SifuZ, which is in the description down below. So let's get working on this right away. We're doing 3 to 4 sets, essentially 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. If we need to work a body part, we can add another set. We can also do more reps or slower reps. So keep that in mind. Day 2 is going to be lower body. And then day 3 is the whole body together. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, be sure to leave them in the chat or in the comment section down below. We may be joined by Seafood Chad over in Colorado, just to forewarn you guys. All right. The first exercise is or are rows. Now, you could do this with bands by leaning back, holding on to the bands and pulling in, laying all the way back and pulling up on the bands. I'm going to pretty much do all of today's exercises are going to be done with the dumbbells. You can also use resistance bands, not just the TRX solid bands, but the resistance bands as well. So if you have a set of these, especially if you have different tensions available, then you can do a lot of these exercises just using this. This is one of my favorite travel tools because you can get more resistance if you just fold it. Yeah. So even if you don't have a thick one, you can fold over the more weak resistant ones to get more resistance from them. Okay, let's get started. This first exercise is rows. We're bending over, we're lifting the weight to our hip. I'm going to do one side each. This is 3 sets of 8 to 12. Now, I'm using fairly heavy weight here because, yeah, rows tend to require a bit of resistance. But 40's not all that heavy. You don't have to, of course, go this heavy. If this is giving you resistance, remember, we're just looking for resistance, or we're looking to exhaust the muscle towards the end of each set. With each set, there should come more muscle exhaustion. All right, let's go. 1, 2, quick up, slow down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's a good weight for me. Again, if you need more resistance, add more weight or do more reps or do them slower. Now, we're going to rest approximately 60 seconds between sets, but not between sides. All right, let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. All right, now 1 minute rest between each lift. Yeah, for me, using dumbbells, I'm pretty much restricted to dumbbells, but I favor dumbbells. That's fine. But 40, a little over 40 pounds is about the most I can add. Luckily, that's a good weight for me. And if I were to put 10-pound plates on here, then it would just be too big. 10-pound plates are pretty big these days. Yeah. So Mostly what I've got here are a bunch of 5 pound plates and a couple 2 pounders and a couple 3 pounders, 2.5 pounds and 3 pounds. All right. Now let's get into our second set. Change the angle here for you guys. All right. Second set of 3. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Now, obviously, I think I could use a little bit more weight. That's all right. You could be more strict and you could do it slower. Slow will always help to exhaust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One more set to go. 60 seconds rest. There's a lot of studies these days regarding resistance exercise and cardio exercise. And it's all starting to make sense how important it is, especially as you're aging, to sort of have a regimen of resistance training. At the very least, a very active lifestyle. But resistance training really helps to get at parts of the body that might have weakened or may just be naturally weak and that need to be strengthened. So we get a lot of that sort of training in Qigong. And we also, if you spar or especially if you grapple, then you're getting a lot of that sort of exercise where this sort of exercise may not be as beneficial for those purposes. Make sure we're saying that properly, right? For those purposes. If you're lifting and you're doing jujitsu, then you're going to do it probably a different style of lifting than what we're doing here. Okay. But if you do jujitsu or martial arts and you also do this style of lifting, let us know in the comments down below. All right, third set of these rows. The session should last approximately 1 hour. So, all right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. All right. Now in total, we're doing, I believe, 6 exercises. Yeah, in total, 6 exercises. So that's exercise number 1, rows. Now we got to change out some weights here. Next exercise, we just did a pull, upper body. Now we're going to do a push. So the next exercise will be a bench press, but an incline bench press. So we don't need a bench, which is good. I don't really have a bench in here. I suppose I could use a stool or a bucket, but normally I'll just go outside and find a bench to do benches. So let's change the weights here. Now you might think 40 is enough, but I'm trying to look after my shoulders here. So I'm going a little lighter and just really using the squeeze of the exercise to get more out of it. Again, we're just using weights as a tool to pump the muscle. So if we can pump the muscle with less weight, then by golly, that's a good thing. Now, some of you might even do this freehand, as freehand exercises. And if you're doing them slow, then you'll be able to get to exhaustion. Still might have to do more sets. All right. So here I'm using a chair. Now, I could put cushioning in the back of this. Here we go. I just have a pair of pants, nice thick pair of pants. And that'll help to protect the spine as you're laying back. You're just going to get on the edge of the chair and then lay back. That's going to give you the incline that you need. You don't need your back to be flat. In fact, you want to arch your back in order to push out your chest. So this chair works out just fine. We're not compromising. All right, 3 sets of 12. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So out fast, nice and slow as you come down. Really getting full extension in the up and in the down position, getting full extension and getting a nice squeeze up at the top. That's set number one. Second exercise, incline dumbbell press. Got two more sets to go. Unless you want to do an extra, you can throw in an extra. There's always time if you need to do an extra. You would normally want to do an extra if you're really having problems developing that one particular body part. And you kind of throw another set in there. All right. Second set. I'm not going to add any weight. I'm just going to stick with this weight. I'm going to focus on form and going down slow, not too slow. I don't want to go too slow and again uh, irritate the rotators, right? All right, let's do it. Now that 1 minute rest in between is approximate. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That second set, one more set to go. Now, there's some advice which I'll have to agree with. And that is if you cannot do a full 12, in other words, your first set, you do a full 12. Second set, you fail at somewhere between 8 to 10. And the last set, you fail somewhere between 6 and 8. That is ideal. Okay? But you can't fake it. All right. That would be what would be called proper progressive resistance training. And we are working up to that. We're going to figure out maybe some of you might have the adjustable where I think you get up to 60 pounds on each side, which might offer uh, significantly more resistance and the ability to quickly change the weight. They're sort of an adjustable jobbies. I've had them before where you adjust how much weight and then pick it up. They're quite nice if you and they've become relatively inexpensive. Back in the day, they were very expensive. All right, last set on these. 1. Nope. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. But that feels good. I mean, I can still go up to a good 40 pounds, up to 40 pounds on these. So I'm good on this. I'd rather, for me personally, to do complete sets and try to develop nice form and strength, and then kind of work up to that progressive resistance. So, but if you're getting that progressive resistance workout by default, pressure failing, that's good. Not a problem. All right, that's 3 sets on that. Now we're going to do some flies. Again, I'm going to adjust the weights for this exercise. This is lifting. You can do this on the TRX bands. I'm going to do this with weights. I just like the exercise better with weights. But it's a deltoid exercise. So we're going to be very, very careful with our deltoids. We do not want to blow out our deltoids. They're small, intricate muscles in the shoulders. And when you injure them, they become very problematic to heal. So a good rule of thumb is don't injure them in the first place. And if they are already injured, and if you've done any sort of sports in your, at least in your 30s, maybe, there's a good chance you've already injured your shoulders, also known as your deltoids. My rotator cuff injuries are a classic example. Yeah. And it's not even unsurprising for someone in their 20s to have those sorts of injuries. They're just a very fragile muscle group. All the muscles contained around the joints you should really be careful with. Your shoulders, of course, your neck, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your shoulders, your knees, your hips, your ankles, all of that stuff. That's where Wing Chun training comes in really handy because of the Qigong or tendon training that we do. All right. And I'll start super light on these. I just want form. All right. So it's a slight lean forward and lift. 1, 2. Now this is super light. 3, 4. I'm using the form to get my resistance. And the speed. 5. Going slow on the down. 6. Activating the muscle group. 7. Getting the muscles to coordinate and work together. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Yeah, they're super lightweight, but I still got a nice little burn, so to speak. Not a big burn. I probably could have done 30 reps, but that's not the idea, especially with the first set. First set, get everything warmed up, get it ready to go, however much weight that takes. All right, now I'm going up significantly. Well, not significantly, but we're doing about a little over 10 pounds on each side. I have not weighed the bar on the dumbbells. I don't think they're probably more than 3 pounds. So maybe 13 pounds each side, give or take. All right, let's go second set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Second set, one more set to go. All right. Really focusing on a deltoid. You can even feel in there all those strands. Right? Drink lots of water, guys and gals. And all you other sorts of peoples out there. All of life needs water. All right. Third set on this. From these flies, we're now going to go from the flies to dumbbell bicep curls. Again, if any of you guys are experienced bodybuilders, you've had experience with these exercises, um, and you'd like to share your experiences or your criticisms on any of these exercises, feel free to do so. I open this up to the public for a little while for that very purpose. Once I take these out or take these out of public, once these become private, they're viewable over on patreon.com/cfuz. So if you'd like to access to my whole library of martial arts, self-defense, and fitness exercises, join us over on patreon.com/cfuz. All right. We got one more set. I'm going to stick with this weight. I go a little heavier, but it's very easy to get the resistance you want from this exercise by just doing a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lead with the pinky. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that was good resistance. Could have gone more, maybe, but I'd rather lay back a little bit on it, on stuff that's heavy on the joints. We're exercising, we're not masochisticizing, we're not trying to hurt our bodies, we're just trying to make them stronger. We're not trying to do it overnight, but rather procedurally, 3 days a week, nonstop. Well, every once in a while you might need an extended break, right? But pretty much. All right. Next exercises are our dumbbell bicep curls. I do a version of these bicep curls, which are called Arnold's, which means it's alternating and you're just leaning your body a little out of the way so you can keep your arm in a nice straight position. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Yeah, those adjustable dumbbells that are quite luxurious. I miss them, but they're ugly. They are ugly. I prefer the look of these, that's for sure. I'm going pretty heavy with this. I don't know if I should, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and go heavy with this. My arms are doing pretty well, and I think they want the extra weight. See, that's the thing, guys. Once you start developing muscle, all right, well, then you're going to probably start needing a little more weight. But if you're just starting or getting back into lifting, then you don't have to worry about that quite yet, do you? Yeah, you're mostly needing to develop the muscles and develop the strength. Essentially, develop the muscles. They got to be there first, right? And of course, that also means eating. If you're sort of an ectomorph or smaller framed person, then you may have to eat up to 3,000 calories. If you're a big person, then you can actually eat 2,000 calories or less and develop. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, this next exercise, the world famous dumbbell curls. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we're getting resistance now. 8. Getting to failure even at 8. 9. Luckily I can cheat, right? Yeah, that was a cheat. Throwing the weight up like that. 10. 2 more. 11. 12. All right, let's talk about that. I just did what are called cheats. So I'm really not with control lifting the weight up, kind of nudging the weight up and then letting it go down to failure. Right? Nudging it up, nudging it up. And you can get more reps out that way. Now, it's not the best way to start, but I've been lifting for a while now. So as you progress cheats and these negatives, they're called cheats. Some people call them negatives, or cheating to do a negative. I'm not saying that you can't do them if you're just starting and benefit, but my intuition says get the form down first and then throw in some cheats. I especially am doing cheats so I don't have to switch the weights. That's the main reason I'm doing cheats right now, is so I can get that resistance and come to true failure and not have to add and delete weights. Just different methods. I've been lifting for eons now, so I know all the tricks, all the little loopholes. All right, let's work on that bad boy. Second set, I'm using the same weights because I'm going to failure, and I'm going to use cheats to at least get to 8. And on my third set, I don't care if I fail and can only do 6. That's good. Okay. Now, I'm not cheating yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now some cheats will come in, especially on the right side. 5, 6, 7, 8, and partials. All right, so I'm introducing a lot of different concepts here. Partials are another way to get to failure or to really exhaust the muscle that you're exercising. That's second set. One more set to go for 3 sets altogether. If you have small arms and you're really trying to get your arms to develop, this is where that fourth, sometimes even the fifth set will come in handy. I prefer, if I can get away with it, to just do 3 sets. I prefer, but often, especially for abs, for putting on weight, even on purpose for bodybuilding purposes, then you really do need to double up on the ab type exercises, a lot of the core stuff. All right, one more set with the curls. Everybody all right in the chat session? All right. We are, how shall I say, after this, we've only got 2 more exercises to go. So I think we're right on time. All right. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Getting the cheats in there. 4. 5. 6. No cheat. Partial. All right. There we go. Arms. When we flex, we're not really showing off. Some might be, but really flexing the muscle that you're working helps you to develop in the bodybuilding. So flexing becomes important, So, you got a mirror, get some mirror time in. You'll be amazed at how much quicker you'll develop when you do the posing part of bodybuilding. It's one of the great secrets that Arnold Schwarzenegger revealed to the public. All right, guys and gals, tricep extensions. I'm gonna add some weight. Yes, we're gonna add some weight and do dumbbell tricep extensions. Now, if you haven't developed your triceps and you can use dumbbells to do kickbacks, kickbacks I think, are a great way to develop your triceps. Okay. Um, Also, doing them leaning using the TRX bands. So, if you had the TRX bands, you could lean forward and do them with the bands or rope if you have rope. My way that I've been doing them today is, and I'll do it with the lighter weight first. This method works, but only if you glue your elbows to your head. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of weight here. My biceps and my triceps are probably the most developed and strongest, mostly because of doing martial arts, especially Chisao, all that kind of stuff. So my arms have remained relatively developed and developed or redeveloped rather quickly. So they do tend to want some heavier weights, or shall I say, benefit from some heavier weight. All right, this is second set. Pin the elbows to the head. Let them flare out. There we go. 1, 2, 3, all the way back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, biceps also benefit, triceps rather, sorry, triceps also benefit from varying the type of tricep exercises that you do. Whereas some exercises, you can kind of do the same exercise and keep growing. Again, by triceps, somewhat more of a complex muscle group, benefits from different angles of attack. That was the second set. We got one more set to get our third in, right? Okay. Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, even with no weight, it's hard to keep the elbows together on this. This is not my favorite way to do triceps. My favorite way to do triceps are pull downs, which can be replicated with the TRX bands, and even kickbacks, which can be replicated by just doing them. It's just you gotta do one side, then you gotta do the other. We're kind of saving a little time doing them this way. But this is definitely not my favorite way to do triceps, but it works. All right, one more set. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Now, this is the first bodybuilding series video that I'm doing. However, I will, over time, replace or do another bodybuilding series, especially once I get some more information and feedback on this particular session. I like to see how people are progressing, where they're not progressing, and maybe even hear from some of you out there in the comments section. All right, that was 3 sets. We've only got one more exercise to go. Put the weights out of the way. The thing I like about dumbbells is they're small. I've got 2 sets, but you don't need 2 sets. You just have one set of dumbbells. And nice. Put them out of the way. Sort of a thing. All right, one more exercise to go. These are the Palloff presses. Haven't figured out what Palloff means. My guess it's a Southern Bloc person, place, thing. However, it's a great exercise. You don't have to have TRX bands. You can use just rope and have that tied up to something. And use TRX bands. If you don't have rope, if you have sill, a door sill. That's what you call this, right? A door frame. You can use the door frame, so you don't need any of this fancy rope or band stuff. But I really do enjoy doing this exercise with the bands. It allows you to do them rather dynamically or static. So the dynamic way of doing this exercise would be moving. Static way would be just holding it. Okay. So this is what's called a TRX Palloff press. Anti-rotation. Boy, sounds fancy and complicated. It's not. However, if you know how to do this exercise properly, it is excruciating. So I'll show you how. If you're familiar with Kimi Ma, then get into Kimi Ma. Otherwise, just stand however you're comfortable. If you want to learn about Wing Chun stance and grounding and all that, you join us over at patreon.com/cfuzi. And be sure to visit cfuzi.com. Hey, if you're watching this, you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscription, share, like, and all that good stuff. Let's get everybody nice and strong and healthy out there. All right, so the Palloff press. You start with the forward arm grabbing and then the back arm supporting and rotate. So we're rotating this way. Let's do it for a count of, actually, this is the dynamic one. Very good. So the dynamic is we're just pushing out and pulling. We're pushing and pulling all at the same time. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like to put the elbows together. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And let's do the other side. Outside arm grabs, inside arm supports, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's first set, 2 more sets to go. Last exercise of 6 exercises in this particular session. Again, this is a 3-day session. Day on, day off, day on, day off, day on. 3 days on with a rest day in between each. Then you got the whole weekend again, or however you want to structure it. And we're doing on average about 6 exercises. This is a great exercise for developing core and also for any of you that have never done grounding work. This sort of really introduces you to the concept of grounding, because that's where all this energy is coming from the ground out to the connection point of the resistance. Very powerful. Second set, let's do it. Ooh, grab from the outside arm, support from the inside arm, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Other side. Outside arm, inside arm supports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. All right, one more set. Woo. Now that one works. All right. See if we can get some air in here. One more set of those. Boy. Need to get some air in here. Okay. Last set, last exercise. Good job, guys. Again, whole series, this whole exercise series will be available on patreon.com/cfoozy. So if you'd like access to those, join us over on the Patreon. Let's do it. Last set. Let's go out strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have this listed as 10 to 12 reps, but how the heck are you not going to go to all 12? It's just self resistance. Yeah, we go all 12. All right, other side. Outside grab, inside support. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Oh, I'm all fogged up here. All right. That is the day 1 upper body session. Congratulations. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments. And if you have any suggestions, any tips, tricks, let's be specific, because we still have day 2 and day 3 that you could refer to as well. But if you have any specific tips or tricks for upper body exercises, again, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. Subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. I will see you in the next Dirty Dojo session. Aloha.